This is Justin AMZN. On Tuesday, August 13th, 2019, we had a major rally today and rally for a really good location. So this is the uptrend channel that we've been kind of keeping an eye on since back here. That came back into the picture. We bounced off of the high of the channel yesterday, turned the, let's see, here's the bounce off the high into the channel, turned the high end of the channel into a neckline. And if you ignore this after hours and pre-market and just look at what happened at this price level, it looks like it's a retest of the neckline on this candle that actually gave you a really good entry if you just got in bullish above and a stop below. Otherwise, you would have been waiting for a pullback that didn't come till about 10:30 or so here, because this just did not pull back. It just ran, and obviously making higher highs and higher lows. If we zoom in on just today, you can see you had a really nice hammer here, and we'll jump right over to the 1825 calls. That was almost $1 range, and so you could have been setting this up, high by the low sort of thing, 825 by 725, something like that, as that candle was forming and showing a hammer, and hopefully hit send on that order right away, because it should have filled immediately and then didn't give you another chance to fill at all the rest of the day. But how crazy a move is that? It went from 8 to over 20 in a matter of like 40, not even 45 minutes. Yeah, about 45 minutes. So the only other opportunities were these pullbacks, which on the 1825 call came right back into about $12 here and here. If that's a little too expensive, you can go out a little further, like to the 1850 calls. Not just a little more expensive, but just looking at that risk to reward. So this, the 1825 is, or I'm sorry, the 1850 call is really nice, because this is a really small range on these candles. Ignore the opening candle, but these two, this looks like a total rest right here on the option. And we know there's a lot of bullishness going on right in here with these two candles on the 5 minute on the stock. So the 5 minute on the option, you could have been getting the setup like 3 by 2, maybe 3 by 250, and getting into 2 of them. Let's say you did 3 by 2 and you just held on for that ride. You're probably exiting when it gets up and then continues past 1815. 1815 would have been a really nice target, and maybe you set that initially if you had time to. And hopefully you did have time to, because in this case you had 10 minutes of waiting. But if you got in the 3 by 2, your target's 5. Well, it hit 5 within that 5 minutes. It would have hit it. You would have had to have been watching this, probably canceled your target, reset your target, as it's moving up. So you're reacting really quickly, and it's just not something everybody does. A lot of times it's just better to set and forget it and know that, okay, you're going to be out at your 2-hour target, and that's good. In this case, you, like I said, you could have moved it out further, but even if you had moved it out to 4-hour, up to 7, it hit that within 15 minutes. So to hold all the way up to 9, I think would have been really challenging to do, unless you're just trailing your stop. And in this case, it would have worked. So you're moving your stop up from being at 2 up to probably 4. Probably move it up to here after this candle. It's like, okay, if it comes that far back down, I can still get an R. Within 5 minutes, you're up 2R. It's, sometimes people just call quits at that point. But you probably got to stop at 4. Then this candle forms, and you're moving it up to 5. And you're like, all right, I'm going to lock in 2R no matter what. And then it starts to chop. And each time it pulls back a little bit, it's like, do I put my stop at 6? Do I put my stop at 6? And then you get your stop at 6 after this candle, because that's a nice hammer, and it should continue. And it does, but your stop's at 6. And then you're starting to think about, okay, what's my target from here? What if we just, hold out right here at this high? What if we keep pushing and rally? Well, I'll probably sit at 10. That's kind of the thinking. It's like, okay, what's the most I can get, from where we're at now? And this 7x6, would have gone up to 9 for 2R, but it's like, okay, it's so bullish, we should be able to get 3R. You set your target at 10, and it doesn't get there. And so now you got your stop at 6. It starts to pull back here, shows this candle, and you're like, all right, I'm going to go up to 650 because we really should bounce here. This candle is a retest of this triangle, this stair step, whatever you call it. Okay, my stop's at 650, and then it comes down and hits my stop here. Or you just exit here. So you probably actually exit like at 6. And so it's like, all right, well, why don't I just take some more profit here? And you're moving your target down to 9 after this candle's forming, and you got your target at 9. It's like, I just want it back up there. That goes through your mind. I didn't trade it this way today. I didn't trade, the option here breaking out. But it's just thinking through, what have I done in the past? Where have I gotten worried? Where have I second guessed myself? And those are things you can figure out and say, okay, in a certain situation, this is what I'm going to do, and put that in your plan. And, I switched over to this option just to look at where we pulled back to. We had some tighter ranges here. $100 would have fit a little bit better, going 5x4 or something like that. 475 by 375, and that went up to, I guess, just past 675. So that would have been 2R. And then another opportunity here, this one, pulled back in that same range. So you're buying 475, and this one actually goes up to, past 675. So this one you probably would have gotten, 2R on had you traded that. This looks like a really, pretty steep downtrend here, and then it's relative lows, kind of this low to this low to this low, or somewhat relative lows. And so obviously this is a triangle, kind of breaking out right here, retesting, and then continuing. And that looks really nice on the option. On the 5-minute, we get these lower highs and sort of higher lows here. I just don't know where to connect it over here. And that consolidates. We've got squeeze forming, and it throws this big volume bearish candle that comes right down into 1815.02 and starts to retest because we're breaking this triangle, and then doesn't roll over, and we just kind of grind sideways and eventually get going bullish. And so if you're getting into this, here, any of these candles here, it feels like, oh, it's already moved. But if you go back to the call here, you still could have been getting in like 550 and getting out at 750. I mean, 2R worked in that case. And so, even from here to here, that was still 2R because you've been patient. You're waiting for the setup, you're waiting for the breakout or breakdown, and getting into the trade. And in this case, it worked. Doesn't always have to work, but in this case, it worked. There was so much bullishness from like this candle and this rally at the open that it just pretty much stayed bullish all day long. Stepping back over to the daily, now this is a good example of how bullish we were. We pushed right back up into this uptrend channel. So this channel is going to be a potential support when and if we roll back down. I don't know if we'll rally up to the 21, maybe around, let's see, what price is this? It's not cooperating. This is 1863.84. We should have the 5 pull down a little bit more, at least into that, tomorrow, depending on where we end up closing. But this line is kind of looking like a little bit high for a double bottom, but we could totally do that. And we technically had a double bottom here. As we rallied, rolled back down. So this is something, obviously, roll back down, rally, roll back down. Doesn't quite get a lower low. So this is actually a higher low, and it's holding. It's not just a relative low or a lower low. It's actually holding above the low. So double bottom is potential here. See if we can rally a little bit more up into the 21 or up into one of these lines, and then potentially roll back down. But we'll see if bulls are here to stay or if we're going to get some sort of rollback over. We've got X marks the spot in this range for tomorrow, for the 14th, right at 1815. So we'll see if we get into that price tomorrow. And like I said, for Thursday, we have a potential X marks the spot here for a potential sell-off. So, it'd be interesting in the next couple of days if we just do that sort of a stair step, So let's see, back in here, a couple of opportunities to buy. The puts, not much happening with the puts. Lost a lot of value opening up. And then I saw that there were some similar lows along here. And so at this point, it's like, okay, well, maybe I'll just get into this. And, it's, let's see, I get in 850 by 750, something like that. Well, it goes up to 1050 on this candle, so went actually way past. So, it just would have been a matter, again, of being patient and getting bearish, up in here, looking for a rollover, which doesn't really have to happen today. It happened, but people who are getting into puts were looking for this to continue to roll down, and it just didn't. It put in this candle and bounced nicely and had some inside candles before it started to just grind higher. So anyway, some opportunities to buy puts, not very much. A lot more opportunities to buy calls, and we'll see where we're head here. If we continue to grind up a little bit, we've got relative highs, higher lows on the 5-minute. It could just be a bigger triangle on top of this rally, and it could rally again like that tomorrow. Totally possible, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see how things are shaping up in the morning, and figure out how to trade it then. So hope this helps. This is Justin Thanks.